everybody, I'm Merisu the Art Sheep, and thank you so much for checking out this video. And today is my first official speed paint of 2026. And because it is my first speed paint of 2026, I wanted to draw something that was very special to me, and that is my original characters. Misato Yoshiko from Revolution in Full Color, Azura Shiraboshi from Blue Song, and Kaila Lacidian from my story Tales of Howloze. I don't know why I only said my story for Tales of Howloze. They're all my stories. They're all my original stories that I will probably never come out with because I am slow as all get out. But never say never. If we say never, then it really will be never. Instead, let us just say it will come out when it comes out, and it will most likely be in 2020. No, not 2020, definitely not 2020, 2057, so, by that time, Cyberpunk will be in the past. We'll be on the, I don't know what president we'll be on, YouTube might not even be here, and, I will be old and decrepit, and, I will be just finishing up with Revolution Full Color. So, yay! And then I'll work on Blue Song, and then I'll work on Tales of Howloze. But, no, really, I am trying to up my production of my series. But until then, I thought it would be really fun to draw them all together in matching outfits. Why? Because no reason. I mean, their stories aren't connected at all. They're not even in the same universe. So there ain't gonna be any Blue Song, Revolution Full Color / Tales of Howloze crossover at all. If anything, there would be like a little reference or a little moment here and there, and Tales of Howloze does connect in a way to Revolution Full Color, but Kaila herself would never come into the story. So there will be no Kaila cameo in Revolution Full Color. But despite that fact, I wanted to draw them all together because I had just watched K-pop Demon Hunter, and I love pretty ladies in pretty costumes fighting evil. I've always loved it. I've loved nice, flashy superhero costumes. I loved pretty dresses on girls. I've loved pretty combat uniforms. It doesn't matter as long as it looks pretty and sparkly. Lovely ladies who kick ass. And that is what I wanted to do here. I wanted to give them nice, pretty, fancy outfits that were all coordinating with each other, but at the same time still expressed their own personal taste. And that was a lot more harder than I thought, because when you actually get down to it, their tastes are actually quite very different, with Misato's being more street kind of wear, hoodies, tube tops, well, not tube tops, crop tops. She does wear the tube tops though. Pants, shorts, boots, like, I don't want to say cyberpunk or even futuristic-y, but I don't know, something kind of like that. Whereas Kaila wears very, very elegant, very mature clothing, very old-fashioned clothing. I don't want to say conservative, but very, I don't even want to say modest either, because it's very ornate a lot of times, but it is not what Misato wears at all. It is completely different, and that's what I love about it. And I think that was probably one of the things I love the most about Misato, is that when I was fixing up Kaila's personality, because it was so inconsistent as all get out, like, there were some moments where she was sleek and edgy, and then there were some moments where she was perky and energetic and really kind and sweet, and there were some moments where she was more shy and awkward and such like that. It was just a mess. It was a mess. Tales of Howloze was a mess, and that's why I nuked the series from orbit, and it's gone. I still have the original script, and someday I might read it on stream for a joke, but nonetheless, it's edgy and it's stupid and I hate it. So I completely restructured the series along with Kaila's personality. But with that said, it did make me feel bad that I couldn't do certain things with her anymore, because I was like, okay, if I do that, it's gonna be inconsistent. So now I moved some of those traits to Misato. So yay, there we go. I can have both. And because I have both now, the girls are completely different in their taste. And Azura is somewhere in between. She's very much of your traditional pop idol, so she will wear a few punky, kind of sporty outfits. Definitely not punk, sporty. That's the word I'm looking for Azura. Sporty outfits. And she will wear, shorts and pants, but she does wear primarily a lot of dresses, very girly clothing, very pretty, very pop star, J-pop, all that stuff, and I really do like it. So yeah, their styles aren't like anything at all like, and then also on top of that, their color schemes are like not anywhere close. With Misato, she has one big bold primary color, which is black, and then she has a triadic color scheme of magenta, cyan, and yellow. Everybody knows this. She's based off of a printer, through and through, design-wise and power-wise. So those are the colors that are always on her, and because that's the color her eyes and bangs are, they're always there, no matter what. So because of that, I don't like to put her in too many outfits that don't evolve around those color schemes, because if I do, they will look disgusting as all get out. It will look like a color mess. Like, at the very least, what I'll try to do then is change her eye color and her bang color, because that's one little side detail I gave her powers, that she can change her eye color and bang color if she really wants, but she has to like actively do that. It just doesn't happen by random. So yes, if I wanted to, I could have given her a different color scheme, but I was just like, I'm not sure. And then with Azura, her style is mostly monochromatic shades of blue, primarily sky blue, cornflower blue, and one shade of blue that I keep forgetting. It is Picate blue, I think is what it's called. Yeah, Picate blue. And yes, I had to look that up because I keep on forgetting. It's a flower, but when you look at the flower, it's actually not like the flower, but when I look up the color, it does look like the color, so I'm pretty sure it's Picate blue. So yeah, that's pretty much all she wears, is blues and with some whites. Nothing else. And then for Kaila, she wears no colors whatsoever, hardly at all, outside of her magical girl outfit, which is like blue, white, gold, and pink. She doesn't wear any colors on her normal outfits. Once in a while, I might put her in like a blue outfit, or I might give her like at least a blue accent, like either a brooch that's blue, or a suitcase that's blue, or the inside of her umbrella that's blue. But besides that, nothing else really that is anything colorful. And originally when I first made Kaila, it was because it was some dark edgy region, like, oh, she wears black because she's always in mourning, and then I realized that's so I got rid of it. Now she just wears black because she likes it. She likes wearing black and white, mostly black, with white being the secondary color. But with that said, I really do enjoy it. And because I enjoy it, it was very hard to work it into the color schemes of these outfits. The one thing I did know is that I was probably going to do black and white, since Kaila wears both of the colors, Azura wears white, and Misato wears black. So I was like, okay, that's easy. But then I was trying to think of like the accent colors, and then I first thought, okay, maybe I'll just make them all their own colors. So dark blue for Kaila, and then different shades of blue for Azura, and then like the usual typical cyan, magenta, and yellow for Misato. And I was like, the more I was looking at, you'll see in a minute, I'm just totally gonna like play around with it, because it's like I did not know what I was doing. I even tried on some green later on with Azura to try to make, okay, maybe I'll do what I did with Misato's rival, Vitus. His color scheme is the exact opposite of hers, being white, red, green, and blue. But I was like, no, that looks awful on her. Like, oh my goodness, that does not look good at all in the slightest. Is like, get rid of it. So in the end, I decided to just go for black, white, gold, and silver, as you will see later on. And I wish I could have added one more color in it, so that way it could be like free accent colors since there's free girls, but it just did not work. And the only thing that was coming to my mind was bronze or blue or like some kind of like diamond-y rainbow color, but none of those looked right. They just didn't look right. So in the end, I just went for gold and silver. And I am glad. I do like it. It did look very nice. And in the end, I was very happy with this drawing. I believe that the number one key of being a good artist is to know that you probably won't. No, let me rephrase that. Accept that you probably will not get perfection, but always try to aim for it. Yeah, that's my advice. That is the wise shade sheep advice of 2026 and such. And I will probably not listen to it because I'll probably be banging my head 5 seconds later down the line of saying, why did I do that? 'Tis life. Oh well. That's the drawing. Let's talk a little bit about 2026. So yeah, I said this in my look back drawing of 2025, where I go over all my drawings. I said that I want to kind of up production. Last year, I pretty much did 2 videos a month. I am very happy about that. I definitely want to try to do a little bit more than that, so at least 2 speed paints and maybe an extra video like a short or maybe something else. Definitely not less than 2 videos a month. And another thing that I wanted to say is that I want at least one of them to be fan art of something, because fan art's most likely going to draw a little attention to my channel. And I'm definitely do YouTube for a hobby. It is for fun. But that said, it's not like I don't want anybody to not see my stuff. I do want to try to draw some traction to my channel. Not too much, just a little. My dream is 1,000 subscribers. And I'm almost there! Yay! So because of that, to kind of help increase traffic and maybe bring some commissions my way as well, I'm going to be primarily doing, well, not primarily. I want to try to do some fan art. At least once a month. And I also want to start working on Revolution Full Color again, because I didn't do anything last year except for re-release Chapter 0 with some fixed art and some fixed spelling and such. And I meant to do Volume 1, I'm in Chapter 1, and I do even have it. It's in DaVinci right now. It's halfway done. I just haven't finished it because I'm lazy. So hopefully I'll be able to get that out soon. And I am hoping that I'll be able to work on season... Why do I keep saying seasons? Volumes. It's chapters. Chapters. Hopefully I will be able to come out with Chapter 2 in a reasonable time this year. The one thing I am going to do is I'm probably going to rewrite Chapter 2, because the one thing that I've definitely noticed that is a big problem with Revolution Full Color Chapter 2 is that I was just kind of rushing through it because I was trying to hit every single little detail all at once, and it was just awful. And I realized the reason why was because I was rushing to get to the good parts when Nightlight is revealed and when the rest of the characters come in. But then I realized I don't have to do that. In fact, it's actually bad that I do that because I am not qualified to draw them. Revolution Full Color was the worst story that I could start off with. Way too many characters, way too many backgrounds, way too many fight scenes. It's just awful. Awful, awful, awful. So I'm going to take a new approach to it. And by a new approach, it's actually closer to my original approach. And that was that this was supposed to be more kind of like a slice of life in an unordinary life. Kind of like Cowboy Bebop, if you know what I mean. And by Cowboy Bebop, I don't mean in quality, although it would be nice if I could do something that's that good. But I more mean, so in Cowboy Bebop, it was just pretty much their life. And their life was an unusual life of them being bounty hunters and such. But there wasn't really... I mean, there was that whole thing was vicious and stuff, but that was more on the side. The main focus was just them living day to day. And that's definitely what I want to try to go for with Revolution Full Color. So because of that, the first chapter will probably just be with Misato, her partner XR, and then occasionally their doctor who is like an illegal street doctor. He would be popping in once in a while too. But outside of that, it'll probably be a while before the Nightlight comes in to play, because I want to make sure that I get really good at drawing, because like drawing all the characters next to each other is really hard. Drawing them next to each other inside of a manga panel would be like, I'm not ready for it. And all the backgrounds, it's like, I'm really good at thinking of things, but then when it actually comes to drawing them, I forget everything I know, and I'm back to being a 2-year-old, and I'm like, what are buildings? How do they work? I don't know anything. Help, help, help. I should have did Blue Song. Blue Song was a slice of life shoujo, and it just had romance, no fight scenes, way less characters. I got the entire story mapped out. I even got the ending written. I got most everything taken care of. But yet, in the end, I picked the harder one. But to be fair, Revolution of Color wasn't supposed to be this big. But I should have known it was going to be bigger the moment I added 7 characters for Nightlight. That was a mistake. But I already made them now. I can't kill them off. There has to be 7 of them. 7 colors of the rainbow in my book. So 7 revolutionists. Because color is a big running theme in my series. So yeah. But because of that, I'm definitely going to go more slower route. So I'm going to rewrite chapter 2. I'm going to make it a lot more smaller, a lot more slower. The chapters will probably be smaller. Some might be longer than others. Some might be really long. Some might be very short. Kind of like Ruby. Think of that. How some episodes were really long, but other episodes were like only like 4 minutes. And I actually like that. I like the feeling of Ruby. So that's what I'm definitely going to try to go for. And it's going to be very contained at first. Just showing you Misato's life. And I think that's actually better because on a multitude of levels. On the first thing, like I said, it helps me art-wise because it's not me rushing into the drawing, trying to figure out how to taking on too much at once. It will be more contained. There won't be any real action or fight scenes I have to worry about at all, outside of maybe a heist here and there. And it will be mostly in the same place, and I will only have to worry about 2 characters, and maybe 3, plus Misato's Katsumi. So it's much more manageable that way. And also story-wise, because like I said, I definitely don't want to rush just to get to the good stuff, because that's awful. And I really want to try to make it. Like I said, I know it won't be perfect, but I want to try to strive for it. And yeah. And the one reason why I didn't do Blue Song first is because I feel like Blue Song, I mean, all my stories are my passion projects. They're all my babies, especially these 3. If you want to know more about all the stories that I've created, you can click that link up there on the top. I will show them off. And that's a video where I talk about them in depth. And I have more than just these 3. These 3 are just my favorites. I do like the superhero story that I'm working on too, but that's with my brother, so it's not something that I do by myself. So out of the ones that I made completely all by myself, these ones are my favorite, and I really want to do well with them, and they all mean a lot to me. But the thing is with Blue Song is I think it might have more like general appeal to it, and I feel like there's actually a chance of it being something, and I might even be able to try to get that one actually published, like either through a publisher or maybe self-publish, get some printed copies. That'd be awesome. That's my dream. And with Blue Song, I see that more of a possibility of it actually happening, so I wanted to get some experience. So I figured I start with Revolution Full Color, you know, dream big, and then you'll be able to get the small thing done. But then Revolution Full Color just started blowing up and becoming even bigger than it was going to be. And it's just like, I realized I need to tone it down a little bit. But at the same time, I don't want to stop. And maybe, who knows, maybe if I get really good at Revolution Full Color, I might take a break, put it on pause, and do Blue Song. As for Tales of Howloze, I need to completely reconstruct that because, like I said, it was just cringe. So much cringe. Fun fact, Blue Song and Tales of Howloze both started out as fan fiction. Yay! Because that's always a good sign of good work. So Tales of Howloze was Yu-Gi-Oh's EXO fan fiction, and Blue Song words. What are they? Let me rephrase this. Let's start from the beginning. Blue Song was Cardfight Vanguard fanfiction, and Tales of Howloze was Yu-Gi-Oh's Exile fanfiction. And yes, it was literally, my OC can beat up all of the main protagonists. At least with Tales of Howloze, it was that way. Blue Song had really nothing to do. Azura wasn't like a strong card fighter at all in the slightest. In fact, the entire idea was that she wanted a Bermuda Triangle deck, which is one of the clans in Cardfight Vanguard, and it was Mermaid Pop Idol theme, but instead she ended up getting Aqua Force. Because that was the clan that I used, and Aqua Force is sea themed, but it's military themed, and also because I gave her that deck, I also gave her little, that's why she has a star motif. So one of the characters who uses the main character who uses the Aqua Force in Cardfight Vanguard is named Leon Soryu, and he has an entire, like, despite him being, you know, very ocean themed, he's got an entire vibe going on with the wind and stuff, because the wind guides ships and helps push them along, and it's very important to ocean currents and things that I cannot talk about because I am not qualified at this time of the morning. But because of that, I decided to do the same thing with Azura, only instead of the wind, I gave her stars, which is why she has so many stars on her outfits and such, and her name is even a reference to a ship. So for Leon Soryu, he was named after the battleship Soryu, and for Azura, I decided not to go in the way of a battleship, but a cruise ship, specifically the Titanic. So I named her Shiraboshi after the White Star Line that was the company that had Titanic. Also, because of that, the one thing that all these girls have that you also notice in their outfits is that they have some space theme to it. So for Azura, I already explained how the stars work. For Misato, she is named after Misato Katsuragi from Neon Genesis Evangelion. I think I just picked the name by random, because me and my brother were watching Neon Genesis Evangelion. We were rewatching it again, and I was enjoying it more this time, and I've always liked Misato, and I just wanted to name her after that. And because of the reference to Neon Genesis Evangelion in the name, I always just kind of associated her with the moon because of the end credits song, Fly Me to the Moon. In fact, in the series Revolution Full Color, I'm going to do everything in my power to indicate that is where she gets her name. Because her real name is Mei Sakurai, but she changed it to Misato Yoshiko later on. And, man, I can't think. I lost my train of thought. So yeah, she changed her name to Misato Yoshiko, and the reason why she changed it is because she did watch Evangelion and she really liked it. I don't think I can get away with flat out mentioning it, especially if I wanted to actually publish it, but I'm going to do everything in my power to indicate that it was Neon Genesis Evangelion. And because of that, she also really likes the song Fly Me to the Moon. She always wants to go to the moon. She wants to travel to the moon. And her biggest dream is to go to the moon and paint on it, because she thinks the moon is a giant white canvas. When she was little, she also thought Princess Kaguya lived up there. And then finally you got Kaila, which her family crest is a crest that involves the sun, moon, and stars, so it's kind of all three of them at once. But if I did have to pick one of them, it would be the sun. So with that, you have Kaila being the sun, Azura being the stars, and Misato being the moon. And I think it's a nice thing. I love the star, moon, and sun motifs. I really do like it. The one I probably like the least is the sun, which is kind of funny because I gave it to Kaila, which is my favorite character out of all three of these girls. But I really do like it, and the sun is fitting. It's big, it's bright, it's warm, it's a necessity, and it is like the main light source. So definitely does fit Kaila. Plus there's that like idea of like what was I gonna say? Like midnight suns and stuff, and I really like that. And it just fits. It fits. It all fits. And as you can see, I've got the color scheme all figured out. I actually based the vest off of, so I wasn't sure if I knew I was gonna give her a vest, but I wasn't sure if it was going to be like more of a corset Well, actually, no. I wasn't sure if it was going to be a corset or a vest, but then in the end, I decided to go with a vest because I was looking at images of Ruby, the original. I will still never forgive them for ruining the girls' outfits. I absolutely loved all the girls' outfits. I think the one I liked the least was Yang. The silhouette and design was nice. I just didn't like the color scheme. I do not like tan and brown. It's not my favorite at all. If it was a different color scheme, I would like it way more. I would have liked it infinitely more, but instead it's like these tan and brown, and I just don't like it. But nonetheless, they were all cute. I loved each one of them. They were so elegant and pretty and gothic, and it just was nice. And then in volume 4, they changed them, and it's like, okay, Blake's is whatever. There's more white in it than black now. I'm not sure about that. Ruby's looks fine, I guess. It's just like a little much, and I hated Weiss's, and Yang's was a disaster. I absolutely despised everything about it. And then for Volume 3, we don't talk about Volume 3. That was a disaster. I will never forget them. I love the originals. And because of that, that was kind of one of the biggest inspirations for this drawing, in addition to K-Pop Demon Hunter. Because like I said, I really like all the girls' outfits, how they all express their own personal taste, but still nicely coordinated. Another reason why I guess I was looking at images of Ruby was because, like I said, I love girls in lovely outfits, fighting monsters, fighting demons, fighting evil villains. It's just always been something that I have enjoyed. Probably why the, idea of magical girls appeal to me so much, but I actually don't. Fun fact, I actually don't like a lot of magical girls. So the first magical girls show that I've ever watched was Tokyo Mew Mew, and I did really like it a lot, and I'm pretty sure I still do. It's on my list of top anime, but I just haven't watched it in years, so I'm not sure if I would like it as much as an adult now. I guess I'm a little grown up or whatnot, so maybe not. I always remember that I didn't like the manga. I do own it. But I didn't like it as much. It wasn't bad, I just liked the anime more. I liked all the filler episodes. I liked the character interactions. It just really allowed for a lot of development and stuff. And, I mean, for the most part, I feel like it kind of still got to the same destination that the manga got to, so it wasn't like, it was like we missed something horribly. I think that's one reason why I probably haven't finished watching the remake of it, because they made a remake. I forget what it was. I forget if it was called anything specifically. I remember in the English dub they couldn't call it Tokyo Mew Mew because Tokyo doesn't exist in 4Kids' world, so they changed it to Mew Mew Power. But because of 4Kids, we have Ichigo singing the national anthems. So for that, I'm eternally grateful. Yay. Ichigo is American, baby! I think they changed her name from Ichigo. I think it was like Brooke or... No, wait, Brooke was... I don't know. I didn't watch the dub. I couldn't stand it. By that time, I was like getting over with dubs. So I watched it in the original Japanese. And because of that, I actually learned a lot of things because it was like free on YouTube, and I learned a lot of Japanese phrases like onesama and senior and senpai. That's the word I'm looking for. It escaped my mind for a moment. Yeah, onesama, senpai, san, chan, and moshi moshi. Yeah, it was just like one of the things that kind of helped me learn a little bit of Japanese and such. And then after that, my next magical girl was Sailor Moon, and I absolutely liked, I'm not going to say love, but I enjoyed watching season 1 through 2, and I enjoyed most of season 3. But then as I got older, I realized I didn't really like it. And recently I just rewatched it, I think last year. I absolutely hated it. Okay, let me rephrase that. I didn't hate it. I still liked season 1 and 2. They were still pretty good, I actually think. And season 3 did have some really good moments. And for some reason, I didn't watch past season 3. And by season 3, I mean the Sailor Saturn arc. I'm not sure if calling it season 3 is correct. But for the Sailor Saturn arc, I didn't watch past that. On my first watch of Sailor Moon, I did watch past the Sailor Saturn arc. I got to the Nehelania arc, but I didn't watch past that. So I never got to the Sailor Cosmos stuff. I don't know why. I just didn't. It just never really clicked in my head to watch it. I don't know why. And then for Sailor Moon Crystal, I absolutely hated everything about it. The art style in season 1 was awful. Like, I could kind of appreciate it because it was kind of trying to mimic the manga's art style. But even then, I'm not as big on the manga's art style either because there's some things that look really wonk. And even when, I forget what the author's name, please forgive me. Even when the artist got, like, really better, it's still, like, not my 100% favorite. But it's not bad once, like, she did improve, so I'm not gonna say it's, like, the worst either. It's definitely not. I've seen worse. But, with Crystal, the art style changed in season 3, and the style it was definitely more generic, but I liked it more because it was cuter, and I even drew, Kaila in that style, and I might draw Misato Yushoko in the style of Sailor Moon because I was doing that where I was drawing Misato in the styles of all kinds of different animes and such. And I've actually made some new ones since then, and I haven't posted them yet, so maybe I'll do some more and post in every batch, and Sailor Moon might be one of them because I really do like the style of the original 90s anime, and I do like Crystal's style for, season 3 and onward. Did not like the anime though. Like, everything that I liked about the original Sailor Moon is completely gone. Everything's so rushed. The story is like whatever. And like, I remember watching the movie. It was just like conflict came and then it went, and it was just like, what? And then like I've never sat right with me how Sailor Moon becomes like God Empress of the entire Earth. It's like, okay, some tragic event happened and now she like saved the world and stuff like that. But it's like, now that your daughter's come back from the future and you know this, couldn't you stop it and not? So you don't have to do that? But it's like, no, they don't. And then in Crystal, I think she even like impregnates herself. Like, she's a Virgin Mary or something. Or if it's like Zeus coming down with like a beam of light. I don't know. It didn't make sense. It was all weird. I didn't even get to that part in Crystal. I haven't seen the last 2 movies. I just saw a clip of it on YouTube, and I was like, what? Anyway, I don't know how this turned into a Sailor Moon rant. But after Sailor Moon, my next anime was Madoka Magica, and I didn't watch the TV show. I watched the movies, and I think the movies are better. I did go back and see the TV show. The art is way better. Even if you're comparing the Blu-rays, which were much more superior than the actual broadcast of the TV show, which was kind of awful, the art in the movies is so much better. It cuts out some useless fluff. Like, I think there's, like, 2 scenes in the entire TV show that I wish they didn't cut from the movie, but for the most part, like, the movie was way better. And I watched up to Rebellion, and I wouldn't say I'm a fan of it, but I do like a lot of the premise. I do like the art. I absolutely adore the music. Yuki Kajura, I love you. Your music is amazing. I have not heard a single soundtrack of hers that I did not like. Tsubasa Chronicles, amazing. Madoka Magica, absolutely adore it. I own the entire thing. Sword Art Online, I own the physical album of that, mainly because the digital album would have been too expensive to purchase. But I love Sword Art Online's music. Absolutely, 100%, love it. Amazing. and Demon Slayer. She does some of the OSTs in Demon Slayer. I love her music in Demon Slayer. Goshina, the ever music producer of Demon Slayer, he's very good too. But I love Yuki Katsura, so definitely love the music in Madoka Magica. It's mostly with like certain elements that I do not like. But so I wouldn't consider myself a fan, but I am definitely intrigued. And Precure, I've just never bothered to watch. Nothing against it, I just never watched it. It was just like, okay, whatever. And I watched Magical Girl Praising Project, but I didn't like it, so I turned it off. And I haven't watched it since. I can't think of anything else. One show that I do like, it's considered a Western magical girl, is Witch. I absolutely love the TV show Witch. To me, it's like got everything that I think a female show should have. It's got like girls doing average girl stuff, talking about boys, going shopping. They all have like, they all seem girly, but they're not all like alike. Like obviously Irma's definitely more of a tomboy, and Haylin is very artsy and very flowery, I guess the word I'm looking for. I don't know. Cornelia is very much more kind of, you know, the shopping type, mall type. Will is kind of more your generic, so she's a little tomboy in some areas, but she's definitely girly in other areas. And Irma's, you know, your brainy girl, and I just like it. I like their outfits, and I like the fashion in it, and I liked the fighting, and I liked the story. I've never actually read the comic books though. I've read the plot synopsis, and I've read some parts of it, but it just didn't interest me as much as the TV show. I wish the TV show didn't get canceled. So yeah, I absolutely love Witch. The one thing I liked also about Witch is that, like I said, it does talk about like their love life of, you know, them liking boys and stuff, because I like some romance in my life. But at the same time, it didn't go into the drama like will they, won't they kind of stuff. I mean, there was a little bit of it, but it was very grounded to the show. And I always remember in Avatar, they added all that will they, won't they relationship garbage of Korra going from man to man to man to woman. And it was just like, and people were like, oh, it's so much more mature than Avatar. Avatar, they just met one person and they fall in love. It is like totally I don't care. If that's maturity, then it's like whatever. No, I don't want that. I hate that. And to me, it didn't seem mature at all. It seemed very childish. It seemed like what a teenager would like, which could explain why so many teenagers liked it. I did not like that. Even back then, as a teenager, when I was watching Korra live as it was airing. Well, season 1 and 2 were already done, but season 3 was I watched that one live as it aired. And I was a teenager back then. I didn't like it. I hated it. It was awful. So that stuff never appealed to me, even as a kid. And I just could not even be bothered by it. Anyway, I don't know how this turned into an Avatar rant either. I think the biggest thing when it comes to Avatar is people are like, oh, it's not realistic. But it's like, no, shut up. And then later on, I think in the comics, they made Zuko and Mai break up. And Mai just hooks up with some random guy and she can't even be bothered. I absolutely hate that. Screw you. They're together in my headcanon. I will not accept anything else. I don't care if it's unrealistic for two people to date as a teenager and then get married. It doesn't matter. I like it better that way. And I know why they probably did it. Because they want to give Mai back her agency. Because she can't, you know, like betray her friend Azula for a man. That would be bad. So we gotta make her break up with that man. It's like, bleh. And then also they're trying to keep on, people keep trying to backpedal and make Azula a good character. Anyway, I promised I wasn't gonna turn this into an Avatar review. So let us go back to the drawing. As you can see, I'm doing the background. I just wanted to do something very abstract. I was first going to do something more like was my K-pop drawing, which is why you see me open it up and put the background there, and then I was like, nah. I wanted to kind of keep in theme with the space stuff, so I added like a solar system galaxy in the background, and then like this I don't know why, but I've always loved the idea of kind of like a not a transparent, but like a glassy floor that you could step in. I've always loved that. And then I added some stars and some moons. You didn't see me add the moons because I pushed pause and forgot to push resume, because that always happens. And then I added some colors and some sun, like some little rainbow halo to get some Prismacolor in there. More stars, more moons, some little heart bubbles. I don't know why I added those. They just look nice. And then I tried to do this holographic key effect where I scratched it with some green and then went over it with a rainbow gradient. And I don't know why I did that, but it looks very nice. So I did. And yeah, that's pretty much the video. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked, do all the YouTube things. If you did not, understandable, especially considering the fact that I dissed both Sailor Moon and Avatar Legend of Korra. Yay, people always like that. But if you didn't like, thank you so much for watching this far anyway. It always means a lot to me. I will be back with another drawing, hopefully real soon. Actually, I got one right around the corner. It's going to be some fan art of my favorite Disney princess. So if you know me, you know what that is. And I will hopefully come out with that within this week, or nah, I'm not going to say this week, next week probably. So hopefully it will be before January ends, and then I'll be working on some other stuff. Until then, bye! Oh, also, apologies if you heard any of my doggos in the background. I try to record these audios when everything is quiet, but there's still no guarantee that my doggos will be quiet, because I'm not going to shock them into submission, because I'm not a Twitch streamer. So I try to edit it out, but sometimes you can't be helped. Anyway, bye!
This fuel got me hazy, about to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seats as I spread, with every word that